Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino on the first Wednesday of the meet. What, for many years, I want to say, I think General Assembly's Hopeful was the last Saturday closing day. So that would be, what, 78? I think it's 79 we started opening on Wednesdays. So that was the gig until about 93 or 94 when they tried that half a week meet. But first Wednesday meet. It's beautiful out. We're on the turf. 4 days in the books. And how was your Monday, Tuesday?
Very good.
I missed Colonial on Monday, Tuesday.
Oh.
Selfishly, I wish they had retained their old schedule.
Well, they had the New York Derby. I actually pulled up.
Yes,
it was.
It was all over the internet.
Oh, I think I had the PPs, but yeah, they had New York Derby on. That was the Mike Ferraro horse. Got it done there, Finger Lakes on Monday. Monday, I got invited. Kim Weir from the TRF said, "Come on over to the ball game. They're doing a little something for TRF." The Amsterdam Mohawks, the America's Pastime Racing Stable.
Okay.
The guys from that, Brian Spagnola and Jason Brinkman. Jason's tied in with the team down in Albany, and last year there was an event, and I went down and watched that game. Brian's tied in with the Amsterdam team, and of course Amsterdam played at Shuttleworth Park, which I remember from my youth, but it's much nicer now. So I went over Monday night, and so I was I drove separately, but at the box office happened to walk in with Kim and her husband Bob, who is a buyer speed figure maker for the form. But we walked in together, and then Brian Spagnola met us and said, "Okay, because they were doing a charity for the TRF, a little silent auction and whatnot." And he said, "Okay, who's going to throw out the first pitch?" And I'm not even paying attention. And Kim kind of goes, "Seth."
Amsterdam home guy.
Wait, what? I looked at Bob, her husband, and I said, and he's like, "Nah." And Kim is like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, this could go wrong in so many ways." But I went out there, bounced it right on the plate. The catcher did not have to move at all. It bounced right into his glove. I counted that
extra credit because he didn't have to move his
yes, I counted that as a win, that he didn't have to go up, or it didn't get close to him at all. And with no warm up, I felt that was pretty good.
Did you throw from the rubber or in front?
No, I was in front.
So you were in front and you bounced it, but you think this was a win.
I hadn't thrown a baseball in I don't know how long. There was no warm-ups whatsoever.
I was going to say, because I used to think, because we're of the same generation when, so many, almost everybody played Little League, but you told me baseball didn't really work.
No,
young people, I'm never surprised when they say, "Nah, baseball doesn't work for me."
Football and basketball.
Were your two.
And then when I was in high school, of course, you jump in with little.
How sweet is that breeze?
Jump in a little softball when I was in high school and college, because there was a little social activity involved after.
I understand. Trust me, I understand.
And I do remember one game we were getting rocked. It's just a rec league. We're getting rocked, and so everybody kind of got a shot at pitching, and woof! I'm pitching for about an inning, and they were sending it.
Back faster than they went out. I understand that too. I want to thank my wife who made Sunday about the best birthday I've ever had. So I know she's not watching, and I know her son is sleeping. So, but excellent dinner and little golf in the fall for me down at Pinehurst, and I'm looking forward to greatly. So, great first week. The weather has clearly been, I'm not gonna say crazy, but I mean, we get rain at some point all the time, but it looks beautiful now. We have a slight breeze. We're on the turf. I did notice on Sunday they went to yielding after much suspicion about firm on Saturday. And I don't have a guess for today. And one thing I like to duly note, particularly now when we went to 2 days off, is I'm always a heightened awareness on the track when they come back after multiple days off or after a big weather thing. I find that that's an opportunity for nature to change it up, etc. So I'll be interested to hear the labeling for the turf course, because we are on the turf. We have a grade 1 jump race. The rails are up on both surfaces still. Matter of fact, they haven't changed. They're still 9 and 12, inner and outer, etc. Because I think often it's the first day of the week when they are apt to change them. But I'm not expecting change on the melon until Travers week and maybe on the inner 4-star Dave week. But we'll see.
Yeah, you talk about Mother Nature changing things.
Yes.
I remember in my youth when you came up here, speed was king until there was a big rainstorm.
Yeah.
And then, so about the first week, if you looked in the forum and there was a front runner, you jumped on.
I think when I was little, speed, it wasn't that way. But when I became like a young adult, so we're basically talking the 80s, that speed became better.
But then there would be the rainstorm, and then the track would kind of go a little more fair.
And just one thing, I'm sure you've seen. My quick thing is, have you ever had Bob on the show? I didn't know he's a buyer speaker. Have you ever had him on the show?
No, I think he's a reluctant TV guy.
Fair enough. I can understand that. There's some people looking for more opportunities to talk. I mean, nobody on this set, and other people that are truculent. But
try to get John Sherpazy, the handicapper from the Saratoga Special, has been the lead handicapper a few times, and he's reluctant too. Some people just that it's not their medium.
Marshall Graham has been brilliant on Twitter the last 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
I learned
usually.
I kind of had a feeling along the way, but he filled in all the dots. And I don't know if you saw this because your social calendar is heavy, but we had on the network. This is the best case scenario. This is at Woodbine about dinner hours Sunday night. There was a horse at about the horse's name is Sign of Beauty. It's the 9th race. At about the 16th pole was 8-5, under the line 3-5, and that brought out the CAW people crazy. Now I got hurt, I thought, with Ensign Parker the other day. She was a bigger price than that, and then late I was like, "What just happened to my profit?" It just got killed, and I looked. We had 10 races on Sunday. The opener, Garuvan, who was clearly second choice and beat the Speaking of the Devil, the short price horse. But after that, first and second choices right down the line. In other words, very formful day. And I have said that. When it's off going, the people are fantastic with it. It's amazing how good they are when it's supposed to be, you would think, more chaotic. They get it more right, if you will.
Yeah, currently winning favorites 41.5%.
I can't believe I'm above water. I just can't believe it. I can't believe I haven't been sunk. But the people have been fantastic. Like I said, what we at? $5, $2.80, $8, $9, $8, $7, even money $7 after the $11 Garuvan. Who to me was clearly the second choice. We talked about Gervin before and got it done.
Yeah. Irod Ortiz and Jose Ortiz tied after the first week, topped the jock standings with 7 each. Linda Rice continues to go very well. 5 winners for Linda Rice.
She has single-handedly destroyed the bar graph. I mean, she being facetious because it exists for almost everybody else except her. That's just how it is. Are you ready? Anything else on your observations for the first week?
The weather kind of played a big part of it. With Friday and the big storm after the races on Thursday, I think everybody got out fine then. But Friday and a little bit Sunday, and played the low rollers on Sunday. Whiffed again. Man, there was a few seasons.
You win all the time?
I think I've won 5 times, is what I tell people. But it goes back probably at least 3 or 4 years. I won once down at Belmont. I count that in too. But the last couple of years, and I whiffed again on Sunday. I don't even think I've made my last.
Have you done the show pool yet?
Yeah, I whiffed there too. The first horse out of the gate. Oh, that's so fun.
Oh, first race?
Oh, my.
First race, hey.
I said it's tough to do, but I got to get through the first anyway.
You can't win without getting through the first. That's certainly true. You ready? Because I know this is your ballywhack right off the bat. Grade 1 Smithwick.
Are we play of the day?
No.
Yeah.
His play there. I was thinking your dark horse play.
No.
Steve Bick, who was industrious and sent for both. So we're going to get his Steve Bick's turf pick today.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week's Chevy Silverado is just $549 a month with zero due at inception. Yes, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hey, everybody, it's Steve Beck for the start of the first full week of the season at Saratoga. It's the DePaula play of the day. Currently raining and a little concerned that the 7th might come off the turf. But let's talk about whether it stays on for now. And under that circumstance, I'm going to make a horse by the name of Golden Rocket. Mike and Patty Farrow coming up from Philadelphia. Golden Rocket. And this is a horse that is making a second start of her 4-year-old season. She came back in the Port Washington and ran very well in that spot off of a 6-month layoff. She should be that much more ready for this spot. She's 5-1. She's got tactical speed. Gomez is aboard, and he's won with her. So Golden Rocket, 5-1. I think you'll get every bit of that. That makes her the DePaula play of the day. I'm actually going to tape a second DePaula play of the day for the dirt. But I will say this. Golden Rocket has run well on a wet track before if it comes off. So if the Pharaohs decide to ship up and they run either turf or dirt, Golden Rocket is the DePaula play of the day. Best of luck, everybody.
When you think trucks, think DePaula.
The all-new 2024 Chevy Trax is here. Bigger, roomier, seats 5, and lots of technology. And just $419 a month, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Welcome back. Yes, it's great. So we got the play of the day. Beautiful
Okay,
weather.
Hold on.
Race.
Hold on.
No?
Go now.
Go now. Go. Stop. We playing Simon Says here or what?
Well, it dawned on me that he wasn't talking. Now I have the earpiece. He wasn't talking loud enough to hear, but he went through the countdown. So
I thought so too.
I launched you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Early.
Yeah, early. Great. The old fake out.
It's only day 5. We'll work it out.
Day 5, week 2, first Wednesday, however you want to keep track of it. But we're going to kick it off with grade 1 action. The AP Smithwick hurdle race, one of our 2 grade 1s for the meet, 2 miles and the 16th. Take it away.
And we'll get a little bit of a look at this also from, I believe it's Sean Clancy today, a former steeplechase jockey. So that's coming up on Racing Across America. But it's either Sean or Joe. But the last confirmation I got was Sean. So I think Sean's going to pop by today. And so we'll get some of his thoughts on this race, which will be
Speaking of Colonial Downs, I think Sean won the first jump race ever there. I think that's true.
Oh, interesting. He also has a horse in here because he is Riverdeep stable. Gordon's Jet in here. So we'll see what he has to say about the race. But for me, 8, 1, 7, and 6, I'm going to go with Welshman on top. Jack Fisher. If you're not familiar with the jump side, Jack Fisher is one of the top jump trainers. This one comes in with a couple of starts so far this year and a couple of good efforts, including a nice little stakes win last time early in May on Virginia Cup Day down at Great Meadow. So comes in good form, top jump trainer. I'll go in that direction. Second spot, up-and-coming jump trainer. Used to work for Jonathan Shepard. Kerry Breon has Freddie Flincher. This one also comes in with a couple of starts this year, a first and a second. So, again, like the top pick, has some good form this year. And as I say, an up-and-coming train, maybe already arrived, actually, with what she's done so far.
She won last year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Gordon's Jet, as I say, it is Sean Clancy and River D going out for the aforementioned Jack Fisher and was right behind the top pick Welshman last time, so I would expect a good effort again today. So for me, in the opener, the AP Smithwick, I have it 8, 1, 7, and 6.
And if memory serves me, I think Carrie won a flat and a jump race last year. I'm not positive, but I thought she won both.
She has
both
flat runners
styles.
too. Yeah.
Right. I enjoy it, but 1-4-3. What I truly enjoy is that they don't run 2 on Fridays anymore. Why are you laughing? Why are
you say enjoy it, then you just kind of bang.
Well, because I will say this. I put more effort. I like the one in here in a good spot. I mean, I don't know. It's
well, you're picking. Some of the public handicappers won't even step in and make it.
No, I mean, well, first off, it's my
woman up
job. It's like so I bring to the table what I have, and that's what I came up with, 1-4-3. But I can't say anything ducked in or anything like that, moved around. It's
I hear you. Second race today, maiden claimers. They'll come out of the chute at the 1 mile distance.
And I think it's fair to say the racing secretaries become very comfortable with these 1 mile races.
Yeah.
As charting it out and looking forward to tomorrow's, etc. And this spreadsheet that I use, this scheduled mile races are becoming popular. Remember, these mile and 16th races are going to cut back to a mile. So I think when the meet's over, we're going to have so much data on these 1 mile races. I'm 2-5-1A. Seth and I agree. From the rail is the 2. Now, did run for 75 in April. Now takes down to 40. This is the second start since that April 2nd $75,000 race. Showed speed, and to date, that's really what I like to see, some forward momentum. And I'm sure the jockey colony, I mean, there was a couple races in the first 4 days where they gave the pace setter a pretty easy time of it, and that made it even easier for the pace setter. And I think this jockey colony that is as good as it's been maybe in 40, 45 years is going to recognize that. And I don't say this too often in New York, we might start to see speed duels and it change up. But for right now, I want early speed. Cloud Forest, my top pick from the inside. Steady progress for Naipaul Chatterpole comes out of a 3rd place finish. And then for 3rd, part of the entry that I like, scheduled to break from the number 4 post position, is 1A for Nick Zito, as a couple horses in 2-5-1A in the second.
2, 3, 7, and 4 for me. I also put Cloud Forest on top. Sometimes you look at a race and there's, again, buyers for me, tool in the toolbox, but an important tool. And sometimes you look and there's just an edge on the numbers. And not only that, the buyer best speed figure for Cloud Forest was when the horse was in for the tag. Now comes in for a lesser tag today. So seems to have a little bit of an edge in here. Linda Rice has Happy Bob off the claim. And we mentioned earlier, Linda Rice going very well. There are some back numbers that'll match up with the top pick, and I don't think it's out of the question that this horse could maybe kick closer to those numbers off the claim. And then Memphis, I did not know what to do with Memphis. They paid $850,000 for this horse.
Ouch.
Debuts on July 1st and just is never in the race, but that's trouble lines, and I do like awkward. Off very slow, and not just off very slow, continued very slow. But again, there's trouble lines, but then they come back for a 40 tag for an 850. So it's not even, we had some trouble there. Let's give another shot. So again, this horse by Gun Runner, from Todd Pletcher, I couldn't leave it out, but I'm very intrigued. Two things. To see how the horse does today, second start, given the breeding and the purchase price, dropping in for the tag. And the second thing I'm interested, will there be a tag on the bridle as he walks away from the unsaddling area? In other words, is somebody going to dip in for the 40 today? But I have it 2, 3, 7, and 4.
I'm intrigued to see how the first 16th of a mile plays out with Happy Bob coming mostly out of sprints, to see if they're leery of getting the mile, so they're passive, which I think helps our top pick. Very intriguingly. So on to the 3rd race on the turf today at the Spa, starter allowance. And I noticed that we have 2 different price tags for the starter allowance at the Spa, which, just to duly know, 3-year-olds and up fillies going 5.5 on the melon.
One of my favorite conditions, just nationwide, we don't see it up here, but I always think the starter 5,000s at various tracks are intriguing.
That would be,
because they sneak in. You get into a claiming race, and then if you can sneak through, then you've got that condition for whatever, a year or longer.
Yeah.
And interesting. 1, 4, 6, and 7 for me. Maddie's Grace on top. Master of the obvious here, the John Kimmel terrain. He comes in as the 6-5 morning line favorite. But Irad Ortiz hops on board off a couple of nice starts. It's moving to the turf. So I think, that it's always a little bit of an experiment. After 3 dirt starts, let's give a shot on the turf. And experiment successful with a nice win in the first turf start, and then tried this company last time and ran decently. I like the cutback today as well. Golden Dagger in the second spot. Bill Morey runner was a winner in debut. Now, as compared to the top pick, the number's a little light, but I wouldn't be shocked to see, and I've said it before, sometimes start 1 to start 2 is the biggest improvement you'll see buyer-wise on a horse's resume. So Golden Dagger is intriguing to me at the 8-1 price. And then Western Lane in the third spot. Couple of starts since the turf season has begun here in New York and has shown nice improvement. Start 1 to start 2. Start 2 being a nice second in similar company down at Belmont last time. I have it 1, 4, 6, and 7.
And I have the exact reverse.
I almost went in your direction. I'm going to kick myself if the horse wins at 8-1.
And that's really the dividing line for me. It's the fact that I think they're closer, far closer, I would say, than the morning line indicates. Now, I can't quantify the synthetic effort, the Tapeta at Turfway with a poor start and then, scoring on debut, now taking on winners. But I think I'm going to get a very good effort here going 5.5. And I think you got 6-5, 8-1. I think I'm supposed to pick Golden Dagger in here. And I have 4 second Maddie's Grace from the inside. John Kimmel's runner, I think, with Irad will, get good position early, but going to be a short price. And then Boss of All, who is the outside of the turf horses. I think I did a count here, Seth. It's not quite 1-1. It's 7-5. The 7 in the main body of the turf race. There are 5 MTOs in this race.
Oh, there were a couple over the next couple of days.
So that's so who do you have for the good people for the dark horse play of the day?
Dark horse play of the day, and I'll tell you coming up in Racing Across America, I'll run over the whole category. I mentioned Sean Clancy earlier. It's going to be Sean or Joe.
Your play of the day is the jump?
No. No. I was just going over because we're going to kick things off at the top of the hour with Gary Contessa off the nice Schuylerville win. Welcome back to Saratoga, Mr. Contessa.
He knew.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. But Mary Ann Barker and Maddie Zanetti will be on from Dark Horse. They always stop by as advertisers, which we appreciate on the show. So they'll talk a little bit in the segment about impressions of Saratoga and Dark Horse Mercantile coming. If you are coming to Saratoga, I'm going to stop downtown. Great place to stop. And the Dark Horse play today is brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile, 445 Broadway in downtown. We'll show some of the merchandise and whatnot, but I say it all the time. You'll have a lot of fun if you stop down and just browse through. Dark Horse down the street, their sister store, Impressions of Saratoga. Dark Horse play today for me today, race number 6, one of those auction price restricted maiden special events, 5.5. I'm going to go and Janucha. I'm totally guessing on that, the number 7 horse. I looked up to see what the word meant, and when I Googled it, every result was the horse. So I don't think it is an actual word. But regardless of that, the sire, 17 first-time starters, 3 winners, 2 seconds, and a third. So I thought the sire was a little bit intriguing first time out. Butch Reed, who's based down at Parks, can get firsters to the winner's circle. And this one attracted Irad. That attracted me a little bit. So we have a little win early on top. On the bottom, the dam has 4 offspring, or this one has 4 siblings. Let's put it that way. 3 of the 4 showed some early talent. Not necessarily win early, but enough that I thought this horse was a little bit interesting. There's a horse called Summer Lightning, took 3 starts to win. Market Book took 5 to win, but it was a close-up second in only the second start. And Company Store took 8 to win, but in that first 8 starts had the win 5 seconds and a couple of thirds. So again, I thought there was enough there and nothing else that was totally jumping out at me that at the 6-1 price will make Ganucha the number 7 horse in race number 6, today's dark horse play of the day.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, the middle, pick 4.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
For 4 generations and looking forward to a 5th, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued their 99-year tradition of delighting their faithful following with the finest authentic Italian recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Some things have changed in the last 99 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report, live from Saratoga. Love saying that, and we will continue to say it for another, 7 weeks or so, as week number 1 is in the books, and we kick off week number 2 with the Wednesday card here at Saratoga, and the 4th race is where we continue. Plain vanilla claimers going, as you kind of alluded to earlier, back to the 1-turn mile.
And I mean,
or the turn and a half mile.
Yeah, it's like, basically copied Ellis Park.
Yeah.
It's the same, really configuration as Ellis. And I said the racing secretary, but the racing secretary works directly with, like, this is what the horsemen want. I mean, you're going to write races that they want, not the other way around. 2-1-8 for me, and back ring luck for David Jacobs. And I was shocked that, because David's used Irad almost immediately. This meet's only a couple days old, but right away. In Saratoga, they list, at least when these stats came out, 0 for 7. But overall, 31%. But the more shocking thing for me, a positive ROI at 219. I mean, David Jacobson back in the game. He got his sea legs. And one of the things, his horses are running well. I mean, he's run a handful of horses, and they're running well. For a second, part of the entry scheduled break for the number 2 post position, coming off of a huge victory. Now, for the people that like to pick up at Saratoga, mile 16th at Belmont is 1 turn. As Seth said, this is 1.5 turns in here. But what I like is, as I've said, I really think if you're inside and have some speed, you can run better than odds. And we're not going to get bet in this race with the entries. You can take the worst of it. And then Super Catch for 3rd. I want to say one quick thing. This will be out of order. So the other day we were talking about Sunday. There was the entry with Cadula and Antonia of Venice. And we were like, Cadula is killing this. And there was the horse, was it Collected Special? First time starter, was going to be about 5 or 6 to 1. I think we both had them. Just talking about this. And Antonia Venice scratched because he's entered. With a first-time starter, Seth, I can't tell you how much I would have bet that horse against Cadula in a head-to-head. And I was just thinking the type of wagering that would attract newbies or people that see it as a sports thing. There probably would have been 5 other horses in that race. I would have taken I would have made action beating Cadula, who I thought was god-awful in the most recent effort. I sat there going, I think that would be the type of thing to the casual new fan be like, yeah, I got the 5 versus the 7. And what's shocking is that never worked at the Breeders' Cup. But I think to myself, I'm like, that's a great type of bet. Me versus you.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that with Kadula, who I was so against. And that's the example where a friend of mine said 20, 30 years ago, he goes, Anthony, there's no window for who you're against. But with head-to-head, there would be. You have thoughts?
I've always said I'd love to see a parlay sheet like that at the racetrack, because I think that would pull in people who are familiar with the whole parlay sheet, just a head-to-head kind of a you'd have to get a kind of a clever guy to put it together so people wouldn't nail it, but I think that is possible. But yeah, I think
that was my first thought when I saw that he stayed in. I'm like, I'll take everybody against him.
Yeah, no, I totally think that idea would.
And they bet him.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. No, he's terrible.
Yeah, no,
well, at least my opinion. He'd be terrible.
I have it 5, 2, 1, and 7. I'm going to put Treasure Trove on top. This is another one where, to me, Treasure Trove and back ring luck are pretty similar in that they're both taking dips that have you saying they could win by a city block or lose by a city block. These are the kind I talk about in that respect. They're both very classy on paper as compared to this bunch, but that drop makes them very suspicious to me. So again, being that these two were pretty close, I tilted slightly towards Treasure Trove, back ring luck in the second spot, and then Don't Be Late. Yeah, of the entry, this is far preferred for me. Has been racing at this level, and so maybe that's a positive for this one, given that the other ones are taking that precipitous, suspicious drop. For me, 5, 2, 1, and 7.
On to the 5th. 3 rolls it up. Claimers, non-winners at 2. Going the mile on the dirt.
9, 7, 1, and 8. I'm going to put Excess Demand on top. It's Bill Lawrence, locally based owner for Chad Brown. This one has kind of bounced around class-wise throughout their career. Started maiden special, then a maiden 10, then a conditional claiming at the 50 level. The best race, obviously, was the maiden breaker at the 10 level, so dropping back down to 16 today, I think will be very beneficial, but does have to negotiate from the outside at this mile shoot distance. Rocked the Weekend in the second slot. Clearly preferred the dirt last time, although also got a little class relief that may have played into it, but I think is going to stack up very nicely with this group and comes in with a bullet workout, and it's 6 to 1. Rock the Weekend, if that price holds up, could be very interesting. And then little Frappuccino. Little Frappuccino for Robertina Diodoro off the claim. Robertina Diodoro, very good off the claim. Things become a little tougher, A, at Saratoga, and B, when you claim away from Steve Asmussen. So, again, I'm not quite sure what we'll get today, but I think the horse probably is going to be an okay fit. And, again, claim for 30 and comes back in for 16 is a little suspicious as well. But I have it 9, 7, 1, and 8.
And I'll just touch on, I touched on it earlier. My opinion in handicapping is that Rock the Weekend and excess demand are far closer in opportunities to win this race than 9 to 5 and 6 to 1. So for me, that's the 6 to 1 horse who on dirt debut was very good, going 7/8 at Gulfstream Park. And excess demand, well, it's not the most recent effort because that's a couple points lower than my pick. It's the 75, 2 races back, that's carrying the 9 to 5, but I am 7, 9, 8. But that's just, for the folks who pick this up, for me, that's just how I look at it. I think we've already seen 2 races out of the first 5 where I think there's a short price, there's a favorite and a medium price or 6 or 8 to 1. But I think on paper, they're really closer to this, but the odds are like this. And that's how I play the game.
No, when I'm doing the show in the afternoon, I'll say that a lot. You look up at the board and you're looking at 2 horses that you think these 2 are pretty close. And you look up at the board, one's 8 to 5 and one's 8 to 1. You think, how is the betting public? Yeah, and then you start to second guess yourself a little bit, but then you look again and say, that 8 to 1's looking pretty attractive. 6th race today. One of the auction price restricted maiden specials, 5.5 furlongs.
8, 7, 9 for me, ladies and gentlemen. Bevy full first, 11 and 12 are AEs. We have a case, I think it's tomorrow. I've already done the work, but I got to send it to you. I think there's a competitive edge angle for the same trainer. Keep them out. Keep them out. Don't let them in. Almond Fudge, maybe sounds preposterous when you're wearing a shirt and tie and you're on TV, but I'm guessing. I mean, what do you want me to tell you, folks? I didn't get a phone call, so I'll take the practical joke. At 8-1, I like the most recent workout. I'm going forward. For a second is your Dark Horse play of the day. I mean, this is a sharp operation. I mean, what? What are we
You're
doing?
not giving a shot at pronunciation?
No. Because I didn't even bother looking it up.
I picked up on that.
I didn't even bother looking. I'm trying
I was completely guessing when I did it.
Yeah,
as
because
well.
it doesn't make sense. It's the lineage doesn't help you out. The ownership doesn't help you out. You say it's not even a word, so good luck. But what I do like is Cash is King is a very sharp outfit.
Yeah.
If you remember, that's the Fleet Alex. People love their silks. And for third, Cozy Colby. So 8, 7, 9 with what's his name in the middle.
And again, I went with Janucha, but it could be Ganucha or it could be anything. So we'll see what Frank Miramati does with it today.
I would think Frank probably places a phone call. I think that's the standard operating procedure. Give me a little help.
And that's why I was looking up to see if it's a word, because if it's a word, you can get a pronunciation off the internet, but it doesn't seem to be a word.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah. So, and I mentioned earlier, there's some nice breeding here. I'm with you. You said you're taking a guess. I think this is a race where there was nothing jumping off, but there was enough there tied in with the connections. Butch Reed, and as you say, Cassius King coming up here for this one. Second spot for me, Cozy Colby by Kozan. Kozan is this sire I like quite a bit with win early types, and this one ran well in debut, and experience counts. Same scenario for I like fun size.
I was watching you do in Gulfstream Park when he won the early double in the depths of winter. That's when I piqued my interest when you said you liked him as a stallion, and I think his
runners he did. No, it was either the early double. I think you're right. I was going to say 2 days in a row, but it was the early double.
I thought so.
No, that was certainly one of those days where the breeding lived up.
I'm watching.
Nicely.
I got my.
That was notable. It was like not this past season, but the season before.
Correct.
I like fun size, like the name, but another one that experience counts, and this one ran well in debut. 6th at Saratoga, 7, 9, 3, and 4.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, another pick 4 commences.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. But here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Paul. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Handicappers Report up to race number 7. I'm starting to think that these 1 mile in distance races are going to be very popular because now we move to the turf at a mile in a pick 4. State breds in for 45. Fillies and Mares are 2X.
I do always like to mention clever names, and this one's raced plenty, and so I've mentioned it a bunch of times, but Dufresne by Uncaptured. You got to love that Shawshank Redemption reference there, but I did not use that one. I have it 7, 6, 2, and 9. I put Collaboration on top. It's Linda Rice with a horse that's in very good form. Two most recent starts under the finish line first in both of them. Did get disqualified out of one of them, however, but comes in very good form. Seems like a logical play in here. We'll see if the 3-1 price holds up. Golden Rocket in the second spot. Nice little second place finish in the seasonal debut on Independence Day in a little state bred stakes race down at Belmont. I think is a square fit in here and could be tough if she benefits from that seasonal debut fitness wise. And Master of the Tunes coming in off win 2 back and then a nice little third place finish last time against Similar. But again, I thought both of those fit nicely with these, and we're number-wise moving in the right direction, so maybe primed for a better effort. Certainly, that will be helped by the presence of Irad Ortiz. I have it 7, 6, 2, and 9.
And although Lisa's vision, and I know Lisa, will always be close to my heart, along with Emmanuel for getting me home on Belmont Stakes Day, not in the mix, but I do think she's going to run very well. I think they have, it's going to step into 2X company, but I think they have found the future. 871 Toolcat for me comes in off of races from Presque Isle that I love this angle to go from the synthetic to the turf with Jose Ortiz in. Seth mentioned tied at the top with his brother. Collaboration for second. Linda Rice's runner has won the previous condition. Well, been under the finish line first twice, but now jumps into this level for the first time. Was DQ'd back in late May. And for third, Classic Colors from the inside. Good early speed for the turf. 8, 7, and 1 in a very. I should point out the 10 and 11 are MTOs.
Race number 8 today.
There you go.
Again, as you alluded to earlier,
yes.
Once again, they're coming out of the chute at the mile. It has become popular, clearly. Optional claimer with the C condition.
And I do think that was always a thing at Saratoga, the 7 to a mile and an 8. They tried it 30 years ago with the other chute. It seemed to be too advantageous for certain. They walked away from it, and now they're back. 4.52, 63 caliber for Tom Amos comes out of stakes racing, gets serious class relief in here. For second, Movie Moxie, Linda Rice's runner comes off of a career best effort. To me, that's actually dangerous for the regression type move. And Gerrymander, disappointed in the last, but I think you might be helped by that effort today because Gerrymander scares me, Seth, because of I think the ability to be, and when I say clear, I only mean a length. I don't mean 5 in front by people, but just to be able to get through the turn into like the first third of the backstretch comfortably makes you very dangerous. 4.52.
4.52 for me. 4.52 and 6 for me. I don't have too much to add. 63 caliber steps out of a string of stakes races. So again, might have that class edge for Tommy Amos. Movie Moxie comes in with 2 wins in the last 3 starts. Gerrymander, mentioning the show pool that I do for the team every Sunday. And again, entries will open every Friday. So jump in and maybe have a little fun because again, it's not always fun, but Gerrymander was part of the big fun one a couple seasons ago. You can see the win down towards the bottom of the page here at the end of the Saratoga meet at 10 to 1, made for a nice show price that ballooned us up from that $100 starting point to well over $2,000 that day. We'll try to do it again this year, but it's difficult. But for me in the 8, 4, 5, 2, and 6.
And I was just thinking we hope out, but I'm so glad for Baby Yoda that the 114's off the page. Still loses though again though.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up with that. On to the 9th.
Break, right?
Break, 368. That would be it. We take a quick break. When we come back, the final daily double.
For 4 generations and looking forward to a 5th, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued their 99-year tradition of delighting their faithful following with the finest authentic Italian recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Some things have changed in the last 99 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, up to race number 9. I think it's, if you were making a wager, that 5.5 and 8 will be the two most popular distance of races when this meet is over, whether it's dirt or turf. You're going to get those. We have 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. Entry level allows 5.5 dashing on the turf.
And as I'm thinking, two distances that, like 10 years ago, the probably
0. You could say it. Well, you couldn't, you could only, I always loved the mile races on the turf here because, as the chief said, there's the winner and the 3 others that should have won. And I like that. I'm like, listen, sometimes you get beat, but it's fun.
I have a 3, 4, 5, and 8. Number 3, Cadencia on top, just in good form. Again, since that New York turf season started, had a little dirt tightener at the end of March, and then a couple of turf races since. 6-furlong win in a starter allowance, and I just missed last time in a non-winner. So 1, I think, is well spotted in here to push through. But it is a competitive race. Chad Brown, Maticat and Company have the number 4 horse in here off a couple of third-place finishes. Most recently, Manny Franco was on board them, who was a great rider, but they pick up Irad Ortiz today, and I think that one will be a player also. And again, a race that I think the top 2, 3, 4 are going to be very interesting. Gunboat going out for Shug off a seasonal debut. That was a very long layoff, April of last year until June of this year. Showed some speed before fading to be 4th, just behind the Chad Brown horse in that one. So again, Gunboat, I think, could be interesting with that fitness builder under the belt. In the 9th, 3, 4, 5, and 8.
The 9, the 1A are MTOs, so I think there's a strong chance there won't be an entry in here, which is good. 3, 8, 4 for me. Cadencia comes off of a very, very strong effort. We're inside with some good early foot. We should be able to get position. I'm expecting Bill Murray to have a very good day today. My danger, though, not in Seth's mix, is fleet-footed, making the 3rd start of the year that I love. Now, this is rare, though, for me. That comes off back-to-back victories for this spot in here. So
I have it down in the 4th spot.
Okay. I mean, the New York bred gets in under the open conditions in here, but, of course, comes out of the American Apple race. This was the 48-1 shot that didn't win. And then I have apparently not Anna Karenina, but the 4 in 3rd. So 3, 8, 4.
Wait, you're complaining about that matron result?
No.
Come on.
There was 2 48-1 shots. One of them won and the other one didn't.
The 10th and final today, stakes action.
Yes.
In the 10th and final. It's the New York Stallion Series, 150,000 up for grabs, a mile on the turf. Top of my page, I have written wide open.
They've been running here a long time, and God willing, they're going to run here a long time. But I'm pretty sure that guy will always be able to say, I was the first one to win a graded stakes on debut. That's pretty good company. Yeah. I love these Stallion Series. I think this probably holds the record, Seth, for being run at different distances and different surfaces more than any other race at Saratoga. It has been all over the map. I'm guessing it's probably been run about 20, 22 times or something, but if you ever look it up, I think it's been all over the map. I love the race. And then tomorrow will be the boys. Today's the fillies. Tomorrow will be the boys. 3, 6, 4 for me. Ms. Big Bucks goes out for Michelle Nevin, trying to make it 3 in a row. This is a series, a Stallion series they have throughout the courses in New York. Won the 7/8 at Belmont, now comes in here. For second, number 6, Dominic Cicchino's runner, though, could be very, very tough in here. He's tried the Aqueduct and the Belmont one with Katie Davis, and for third, number 4, so Trevor McCarthy, Tom Amos. He's going to be a big price in here, and he needs to wake up and run considerably faster than he has before. But going back to that effort at Keeneland, that would be good in here if he could carry it a distance of ground. So 3, 6, 4 for me.
9, 4, 6, and 3. I have yours all underneath, but I put
we're expecting a huge day for Bill Moore. We got him on top of 3 races.
On top, claimed this one away from Christophe Clement last time, but Moore pretty good off the claim. This one comes off a win. Again, we've talked about it before. I'm sure that was a little bit disappointing for the claimees or claimers, but I think it touts this horse as being in very good form right now. So I'll put that one on top. And as I say, use your 3 right underneath. 9, 4, 6, and 3.
I mean, we have far more interesting things to talk about with Mr. Contessa, but I'd take his word for it. The maiden claiming, you put the claim in and they win. It's got to be a punch in the gut. I mean, no matter what you were thinking, you had to be thinking this would be a sharp claim, but it's going to be a lot sharper if I get to come back in this condition. And how, it's got to be. I'd be shocked if everybody said, "No, I just move on." I don't know that I would believe that. That's a tough go. So obviously, Gary Contessa will kick it off. Who else do you have?
Sean, I believe it's Sean, but it may be Joe Clancy.
One of the Clancy brothers
and
for the jump.
We'll talk the first week a little bit and jump race, obviously. And again, a little bit later on, Marianne Parker and Maddie Zanetti from Impressions of Saratoga and Dark Horse Mercantile talking a little bit about their shops downtown, which are always worth the visit.
And obviously, with jump racing is Wednesday, the first race. That's the schedule. I think so. Yeah. That's they usually pick out a day. They give them first. You remember when the meet started with a jump? Never thought that was the best idea, but maybe a couple years, but at least once we had a jump kick off the meet. So we're into week number 2. The weather is great. Let it be noted, we hit the mark. Mr. Contessa is here to talk about probably his favorite opening day ever. All right, he stays, I go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great day up here. I mean, come on up. If you're thinking about it, the weather seems like it's going to be good, right?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a good weather day. Maybe one of the better of the weekdays.
I think today at the Clubhouse Racebook, if you want to go down, I think it's a knockout challenge today.
Ooh, very tough. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great Wednesday.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.